So, Gino, I guess back over to you. Let's talk a little bit about the QMS scope and the actual use. So how long has Purdue been using SOLABS QM now?
So we went live in October 2006, so about 3.5 years.
Okay. And a large percentage of your employees are actually using the SOLABS QM software?
Yeah, at present time, I would say we're close to about 75% of employees at our head office that have access to and are using SOLABS.
Okay. Well, what was the transition like? You mentioned that prior to SOLABS QM, you were implementing a paper-based system, and so how user-friendly is the software, and how easy or difficult was it for people from the user community to transition from the paper-based process to the new automated process?
First of all, there's always a challenge when a change such as this magnitude is proposed, but we found that the system is very user-friendly, and we made sure that we planned the transition carefully. There was considerable communication early in the validation process to all the end users. We had thorough hands-on training performed as part of the deployment plan, so all our SOPs were revised to cover the change to existing processes, and we had designated what we called super users. Philippe alluded to that earlier, from each business unit that we made very familiar with the system, and they were able to provide assistance in each area after go live. And in summary, the transition went very well.
Mm-hmm. Okay, good. How about, were you able to use the system to its maximum capabilities right from the initial go live from day one?
Yes, we did.
Go ahead, Gino.
Sorry, the only process that we added later was our complaint process. Everything else, our OOS, CAPA, change control, deviation, was all part of the go live.
Great. So that's a good segue to our next question. We're interested in exploring a little bit more about how many quality processes you use the SOLABS software to manage on an annual basis, and which ones.
We pretty well have every single one of our quality system documentation on SOLABS, from our SOPs, test methods, specifications, production and batch, packaging batch records, masters, all regulatory documents, and I would say approximately 2,000 to 2,500 documents.
Wow, okay. You mentioned training records also, so you use SOLABS to manage your training records as well?
That's correct. We have all the training requirements linked to the SOPs once they're updated. So we manage all the training linked to them, as well as just general GMP training that we have records for when needed. And we also use it for doing training on situations that result from exceptions, such as training for DRs and OOSs and SOLABS as well.
Mm-hmm. So when SOPs get revised, does the system send automatic notifications so that people, based on their job description or profile, know that they have to update their training?
That's correct.
Mm-hmm. Great. Okay. So what were the key lessons learned at Purdue during the implementation, Gino, and what advice would you give someone considering QMS project?
One of the big lessons that we found was to know and understand the software and the logic behind it. I'm not to the extent that you can design what yourself, but just understand how it's linked. In other words, play with it, challenge it, or do whatever is necessary to become familiar with it before you start. If you rely entirely on the vendor, you're depending too much on others to answer questions for your staff, and plus for ongoing maintenance during routine use, help desk calls, and all those matters. You need some internal resources to be very familiar with addressing the problems. Otherwise, you're going to call SOLABS for problems that may not even be problems. It's also in your best interest to know the system up front so you can better utilize it to tailor it to your needs, and make sure that you have to do proper planning up front as part of the validation plan, and all elements of the plan itself before you start. That's always a very important part of the process.
Okay, great. That's some great advice to position yourself for success. Thank you for that.
You're welcome.
Okay, how about on the implementation side with SOLABS, Philippe? What were the key lessons learned, from your perspective?
From our perspective, the Purdue project was in fact a very key for us in adapting our implementation approach from what we could call an all-in-one year project to a multiple waves approach. I have complimented Gino and his team many times, he knows, in the past in terms of dedication they brought to the project. And but it was a lot of work on their end. But now that we have a lot of comparison in the projects we have realized over the last 3 years, we can appreciate even more how much effort they have put into it. And we feel it's a little bit too much pressure to put on the client's shoulder. So now with our partners who also participated in changing this approach, there are more responsibility on our end with the clients where the services are concerned, and we use the flexibility offered by our system. We can evolve with the clients to their advantage, and we spread out the total EQMS implementation in several waves. So, for instance, we can start small with document control and change control, and then adding more process such as OS, deviations, and kappa. So in the case of Purdue, this was apart from complaints, everything was done in the same implementation project, who lasted 6 months, but was I should say very intense in terms of activities for the client.
Okay, great. Regarding software claims, this question is directed to Gino, but we've often heard it said that an automated QMS provides more visibility. So I guess the question, Gino, for you is, first, do you find that to be true? And secondly, how does that translate positively into Purdue's organization?
First question is, I would say it's a very accurate statement if the system is effective. We found that everything is real time. We simply press a couple of buttons and we get a quick summary of where any particular process is at any given time, what tasks are remaining or pending, which are completed, what needs to be done to close tasks off. It also gives us a pretty good overview of the effectiveness of our quality system, and it provides a mechanism for benchmarking and metrics. We use the information we get from it for our management review meetings. And SOLABS has also proven instrumental in our audits as well.
Okay, great.